Hello everyone! A truly breathtaking scene. Enormous chunks of ice, glistening in celestial blue tones, collapse into the water with a deafening roar. Taken in 2016, this video shows the Viedma Glacier, a massive ice formation that lies along the border between Chile and Argentina in South America. The Viedma Glacier's endpoint spans about 2 kilometers as it pours into Lake Viedma, one of the deepest lakes on Earth. This is where the dramatic process known as glacier calving takes place. Icebergs break off with a distinctive crack from the glacier's body and drift into the lake, gradually melting. Over the past decades, this process has intensified, leading the glacier to lose approximately 6 square kilometers of its surface area, adding to the dramatic impact of this natural phenomenon. This video of the Columbia Glacier is truly breathtaking. When the iceberg, about the size of a high-rise building, calved off, it sank at first because of gravity. However, the denser seawater soon caused the towering ice column to rise back up. It's scary to think about what the people on the nearby boat must have gone through.
Oh my god! Look at this run! Oh! Oh my god! Holy! Woo!
This video will definitely give you chills. It was filmed by an American kayaker during a trip with a friend in Alaska's Chugach National Forest, and its crown jewel is the Spencer Glacier, towering nearly a kilometer above the lake. While kayaking, the tourists heard a loud noise and paddled to within about 15 meters of the glacier. They weren't disappointed. Just seconds later, a massive collapse occurred.
Man, when that whole thing goes, oh, here we go. Oh. Holy sh**!
When the iceberg crashed into the water, it created a massive 3-meter wave, forcing the kayakers to quickly turn around and paddle to safety.
Holy sh**! Got it! I got it! Woo!
The term ice tsunami perfectly describes this uncommon event. It's a type of natural disaster that happens in temperate or Arctic areas, marked by a huge influx of ice crashing onto the coastline of an ocean or a large lake. In this case, ice boulders formed in Lake Erie, the 4th largest of the Great Lakes. Covering an area of over 25,000 square kilometers, the lake borders 4 US states and the Canadian province of Ontario. In winter, the water temperature in Erie ranges from 0 to 2 degrees Celsius, and the shoreline freezes from December to early spring. An ice tsunami forms when there's a sharp rise in temperature combined with strong winds. This causes the ice to melt, and large chunks of ice are driven towards the shore and rapidly pushed onto land. Residents of Fort Erie, located where the Niagara River flows out of Lake Erie, had to witness this terrifying scene on their own waterfront. With gale-force winds reaching up to 30 meters per second, the ice walls grow up to 9 meters high.
Oh, here you go, more. Whoa.
The carving of ice from the Holgate Glacier in the stunning Kenai Fjords National Park perfectly demonstrates how chaotic and spontaneous this natural phenomenon can be. The sheer impact of the towering, silent wave that rushes towards onlookers is truly something to behold.
Look at that!
The timing and size of future ice carving events depends on a range of factors, including various physical and chemical properties of the ice. For years, researchers have been working on developing a reliable formula to predict these processes.
Alright, that was great. Alright, that's one of the best things I've seen.
Holy crap! Danger, danger, danger! Holy crap! Whoa!
Icebergs pose more dangers than just waves. Sometimes when they break apart, they can cause a dangerous shower of ice chunks flying at high speeds. This can be quite a shock for tourists. Let's take a look at Greenland's glaciers. In this video, a massive iceberg breaks off from the Jakobshavn Glacier, which sends 35 billion tons of ice into the fjord each year. Lately, with rising temperatures, the melting of glaciers and iceberg formation has accelerated even more. Greenland is the largest island on Earth, bordered by the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Scientists estimate that around 3 million years ago, the island, once covered in vegetation, began to freeze over. Today, 81% of its area is covered by an ice sheet known as the Greenland Ice Sheet, which holds nearly 2.85 million cubic kilometers of ice. If the ice in Greenland were to melt completely, global sea levels would rise by 7 meters, which would be a true apocalypse.
Almost sight! She's coming! The Kraken! The glory! Holy shit!
Take a look at these tumbles of a newborn iceberg. It's truly captivating, especially considering its size, over 500 meters long. This giant iceberg is a piece of the Vatnajökull Glacier, the largest by volume in Europe. It covers 8% of Iceland's total land area. The iceberg floats in the Atlantic Lagoon, meaning it's in salt water, which causes the difference in density between the ice and seawater. This results in about 90% of the iceberg being submerged. Before it sets off on an ocean voyage, the iceberg must find its balance. It's interesting that even icebergs that have been drifting for a long time can still flip over. These are called black icebergs, because the submerged part is darker than the part above water. The Titanic famously collided with such a black iceberg at night.
Wow, that's a big piece. my God, look at that piece. Oh my God.
The people on that boat were probably the ones who were the closest in the world to seeing the carving of a glacier in Tracy Arm Fjord. Glaciers can also create icebergs below the surface, causing ice chunks to unexpectedly rise like submarines. This can trigger a chain reaction, as demonstrated in this video. For example, the Sawyer Glacier stands about 60 meters tall, and when chunks of ice fall from that height, they can cause even bigger pieces to break off underwater. Because of this, icebergs from continental glaciers tend to be smaller, and their surfaces are seldom smooth. Here's yet another example of nature's unparalleled architectural skills. This breathtaking ice bridge is a feature of the Perito Moreno Glacier, which lies within Los Glaciares National Park in the southwestern region of Argentina's Santa Cruz province. Covering an area of 250 square kilometers, Perito Moreno is the third largest source of fresh water in the world. The Perito Moreno Glacier is constantly moving at about 2 meters per day, advancing into the curved Argentino Lake. Its 5-kilometer wide, 60-meter high tongue splits the lake in half, creating a natural dam. As a result, the water level in the southern part of the lake can rise up to 30 meters higher than in the main part of the lake. What you're looking at is an ice bridge that's essentially a dam created by water eroding a tunnel through it, with gravity now finishing the job. It's a spectacular sight that attracts many visitors. The cycle of building up and breaking down a dam repeats at different intervals, ranging from just a year to as long as 10 years. This arch looks like it belongs in a fantasy film, but it's actually a natural formation, an iceberg in Disco Bay on the west coast of Greenland. In Disco Bay, discovered by the famous Viking Eric the Red, thousands of icebergs of all shapes and sizes drift year-round. Icebergs continuously break down from the moment they're formed, and this breaking process results in the many forms we observe, such as pyramidal, slanted, rounded or arch-shaped icebergs like this one.
Here it comes.
Rivers that freeze in winter have to make tremendous efforts every year to break through their icy crust. In this video, the Amonoosuc River in northwestern New Hampshire faces an additional challenge. Where the river's course was altered for bridge construction, a massive ice jam is formed.
Oh my God. So cool.
The birth of icebergs from the South Sawyer Glacier in Tracy Arm Fjord on southeast Alaska is a mesmerizing sight. The glacier's ice is a striking cobalt blue color. This glacier is a classic active tidewater glacier, with a front that carves frequently, and when the iceberg flips over, it's clear that the underwater section can be just as remarkable as the part we see above water. A massive glacier carving and a terrifying tsunami, a sight that never gets old.
Keep watching, keep watching.
There it is. Whoa, wow! Phenomena! Big wall. So hold on.
Yeah, hold on is right.
Look at that mini tsunami.
Tidal wave.
Did you see that tsunami?
A tidal wave.
Oh, really? Whoa.
What could ever compare to the piercing blue of glacial ice? It's no wonder that many people fall in love with this force of nature and make studying glaciers their profession. Especially since Earth's total ice reserves are estimated at 30 million cubic kilometers. That's a separate layer of the planet called the cryosphere. These kind of scenes really make you realize how insignificant we are compared to the power of nature. In the video, tourists are marveling at the icebergs forming at Columbia Glacier in Prince William Sound, Alaska.
Wow, look.
During these tours, the boat captain must be extremely cautious, as the waves created by the carving glacier are notoriously unpredictable.
Wow. Hey, can you turn the boat to the right?
The Columbia Glacier, named after Columbia University, descends from the Chugach Mountains and spans over 50 kilometers.
What's this one? Not finished, yeah.
Today, it's known as the fastest moving glacier in the world and has been rapidly retreating since the early 1980s. This is why it's common here to see ice chunks breaking off almost every day.
Look, wow.
For example, in 2001, the Columbia Glacier retreated nearly 30 meters from the bay, shedding icebergs with a total volume of 7 cubic kilometers.
Man, look at all that right there. Look at it.
When ice flows can be visually stunning as they move across rivers, they also come with serious risks. Ice jams, or the accumulation of ice chunks in a river's path, are a common problem. These jams frequently happen in narrow spots or bends in the river, as well as around structures such as bridges or piers. They can lead to sudden floods and cause severe damage if the ice pushes onto the land. To prevent these issues, people sometimes need to build special barriers to catch and manage the ice.
Yes.
The Perito Moreno Glacier has become a tourist gem in Patagonia, not only because of its stunning beauty, but also due to its accessibility. It's easy to get here, and you can enjoy the breathtaking views and thrilling ice falls not only from the lake, but also from well-equipped viewing platforms right in front of the massive ice wall. Whether you catch a carving event during your visit is up to chance.
That's crazy.
What a mess! The cruise liner collided with a small iceberg near Tracy Arm Fjord. The impact caused the iceberg to break apart into many smaller pieces.
Oh my god. Look at that piece.
Did you know that there's a reason glacier ice has a blue color? When ice first forms, it appears white due to the large air bubbles trapped inside it. Over time, as more layers of ice accumulate on top, the pressure increases, and these air bubbles shrink. This change in the ice's light absorption properties allows light to penetrate deeper, giving the ice its rich blue color. In other words, if you see blue ice, it probably means the ice has been around for thousands or even millions of years. If you drop a cube of such ice into your drink, it'll crack with a loud pop due to the highly compressed air inside. If your glass is thin, it might even shatter. An iceberg of incredibly complex shape breaks apart and flips over in the waters of Argentino Lake. Even during the warm season from December to March, the average air temperature here is about 12 degrees Celsius. As a result, icebergs can float in the lake for a long time, slowly melting and attracting many tourists. A truly stunning scale. The Viedma Glacier, flowing down the mountain valley, continues to feed the unique lake with its ice. The people of Ithaca, New York, will long remember the dramatic transformation of their usually calm Cascadilla Creek. Severe frosts followed by a sudden thaw caused rapid ice melt, putting several areas at risk of flooding.
Yeah, it's coming down again.
Here comes the actual water.
Whoa!
Yeah. There's a huge amount of water coming down.
Scientists predict that in the coming decades, the Columbia Glacier will continue to retreat, giving up another 15 kilometers to the fjord. Eventually, it'll reach a point where its bed rises above sea level. While this might seem like a result of global warming, the advance and retreat of coastal glaciers are not as directly linked to climate change as one might think.
River. In the days leading up to this event, we had several nights of really cold weather, and then the January thaw hit.
The start of ice flow is always an unexpected event that marks the beginning of spring. It's especially dynamic on fast and powerful rivers like the Roaring Fork in Colorado. The river broke through an ice dam and swiftly carried a mass of broken ice downstream.
As we watched the spectacle unfold, to our amazement, there was a beaver riding one of the icebergs. It was just surfing right on the front of the wave, and apparently doing just fine as it...
Oh. 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 Oh no. It's because the sun is hitting that way.
A phenomenally beautiful show. The Ialik Tidewater Glacier in the Kenai Fjords National Park crashes ice and firn into the waters of the bay. Firn is an intermediate stage between snow and glacial ice, still grainy but already a fairly dense substance. What's fascinating is that the process of turning snow into firn and then into an ice can occur both at below freezing temperatures and at temperatures close to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The different layers of ice and firn that form in various conditions make each glacier an incredibly complex structure. By the way, firn is the building material for the Eskimos' traditional home, the igloo.
Oh. Oh.
One of Iceland's 13 largest glaciers, Myrdalsjökull, occasionally triggers avalanches from its peaks. The active Katla volcano, located beneath the glacier's southeastern section, often triggers earthquakes in the region.